Hello and welcome. So, I did a thing. This is my fully custom printed metal commander deck. This is I either switch off between Tiamat or the Ur-Dragon. The cards are printed via a sublimation process onto metal cards, and I've been making some shorts about the cards I make, but in this video, I wanted to go more in depth on that entire process. So follow me for this journey and I'll show you all the fun stuff that goes into this. Alright, step one is getting the card images, and there's a few different ways to go about that. One straightforward one is just pulling the card art directly off Scryfall. There's also getting other pre-made images all around that people have made on all kinds of other websites. And then there's another options are making your own. A useful website in doing this I have found is MTG Picks. It has a lot of the original card arts, so you can get really good versions of the just really high original sources, a lot of them. And then you can use them in programs such as a program I like a lot is called Proxy Shop. It's a tie-in with Photoshop that kind of automates a lot of these different borders and frames and makes it a lot more straightforward. So we can go in and let's drag and drop in the Ur-Dragon image we got from the MTG Picks. Then it pulls up Photoshop and we'll start doing all the automation. So it uses Photoshop's built-in generative fill. It's AI fill, which sometimes is, for some pictures, are better than others and sometimes not quite as good. So let me take a few minutes and see if I can't get this to look a little bit better. Alright, that looks a little bit better. Should be able to work with that. Then we can go back over to Proxy Shop. Tell it the art is ready. It'll come over here and port it into the card and look at the card on Scryfall. I pull in all the text automatically for you, which is really nice. And there we go. There's a real nice Ur-Dragon custom full art. You can see the frame, because it gives it the extra about 1/8 of an inch around all sides, so there's more room for centering, so it makes it so you can cut it in really nice, and that works out really well. Another tool that I have started using that if I want other frames that this program doesn't have is another program called Magic Set Editor. And it doesn't have any of the automation, but has a lot more options. So I have a Ninja Commander deck that I want all in this Kamigawa really awesome ninja frame, and it has it on here along with so many other things, Samurai, the One Ring, so many other styles on here. You have to kind of come in from copy and paste from Scryfall to fill it all in, but you can also get really nice custom art, upload the own art you want from it onto it, and all that awesomeness. And so I have 4 other cards all ready to go. They're 4 commanders for my next metal commander decks I want to make. I have those cards ready to print. These 2 are made in Proxy Shop, then these 2 are made in this MTG Set Editor. One of the main differences, MTG Set Editor does not have that extra 1/8 inch border, so that I have to print slightly different, and I'll show you that. Same thing if I get an image off Scryfall that doesn't have the set border. But if you notice, the other thing I do before printing is this one will give you the curved edges. I do need to go through and sharpen those edges so I can have the corners a little bit better. next step is printing. I have a Epson F570 printer. When I got it, it came with the Epson Edge printing software, which makes things go quite a bit easier for me. I mean, I think the main thing it really does is it helps it lay out and it automatically mirrors the print, because when you're printing Sublimation and then transferring it, you gotta mirror it. So we'll go ahead and upload some cards to it, get those going. So I'm going to print my 4 commanders I just showed you with my card backs, and I'm going to print 3 different versions of that dragon we just made to show off the 3 different kinds of metal I have. My thinner 0.2 millimeter, my slightly thicker 0.4 millimeter, then my real thick 0.75 millimeter white. So we can see how all those cooperate. And so like I said, so you can look at these. They have the different sizes. I said these first 2 have the 1/8 inch border, which is really nice. So these ones are slightly smaller, you know, the whatever, 1/4 inch smaller, give or take. And these ones I want to make sure their width is at least 2.51 inches is kind of what I have found is still the right scale, with just enough of a little edge that I can center it, because another option is I could go in and AI extend it all, but I figured out how to make this work. So I get those all printing, get 4 copies of my card back, my little bee, those going, and then also get 3 more copies of my back on another paper, so I can get the backs for the dragon. And then this is automatically pre-cut them, so it's all batch. And now I'm going to show you the next step of the process, the actual printing and pressing of them. Alright, and here's my printer. Like I said, it's the Epson F570. It's quite a large printer. You definitely don't need this big of a printer for just simple sublimation prints. It has, the reason I liked it, it has the paper comes on the rolls, and then it can go up to 24 inches wide. So in theory, you have practically limitless length and then 24 inches or 2 feet width. So in theory, this is kind of future proofing that when I want to do bigger photos, I can print up to like a 2 foot by 3 foot size photo, or right around that scale if I have a big enough heat press for it. But this kind of future proofs me, and yep, and all prints and cuts it out, and I have all the little batches. You'll notice the cards, like I said, are mirrored, like I was saying, so that when you print it, it'll be right around again. Alright, now that we got the photos all printed up, the next step is the metal. So this metal I've actually sourced myself. Custom metal from a factory, straight from the factory, so that it's the right size, so it's the exact size of the magic card with the same quarter radius, and even the sublimation is double-sided, so you can print on both sides. So here I want to line up the card really nice. Like I said, I have I like to have the corner so I can see that I'm right there with just enough pixels on the outside. Like I said, it's a little bit easier when you have like these ones that are the 1/8 inch border, so it's a lot easier to center them. But when you pull images straight from Scryfall or whatever, sometimes you don't have that, and AI art extending is not quite as quick and always reliably easy to match it exactly, so you make work with what you have. So let me get all this metal on. Like I said, these 4 will be using my 0.4 metal, and then this one I'll do 1 of each of my available metals, and we'll quickly get these on and we'll get the heat press. Alright, and now we're to the dragon. So we have you can see, I guess if I can focus, it is a little bit thinner. So we got the super thin, we got the normal Then we have our matte white, so it's not very reflective and it's quite a bit thicker, but it'll be able to represent the colors a lot better. And there we are, all the cards are prepped and ready. Next step is the heat press. So we heat press it at 400 degrees, and I have found about 50 seconds does pretty good. And yeah, so let's do that next. So for the heat press, I use these Teflon sheets as well as some butcher paper to help make sure that any bleed is caught so it doesn't go into anything that'll stain my next sets. So I can get all that set up. Alright, and there we go. It's all popped up. This heat press I like has the auto release, so it won't be overdone. And so like I said, so that caught some of the overspill for me, and we'll let these cool off for just a second and then transfer over to the backside. Alright, let's get these transferred over. And then we go ahead and press it again. Alright, let's go take a look at what we got. So here we are. We have our 3 air dragons. One on the 0.2 millimeter, one on the 0.4 millimeter, and the last one on the 0.75 millimeter matte clear or matte white. So a normal magic card is right around 0.3 millimeters. So this one's just a little bit thinner, and this one's just a little bit thicker. And then I can take a look at the different picture qualities of them with the double-sided of my card back. I'm looking at those. The 0.2 to 0.4 have a, I don't know if you see it, like a slight texture. This one's a little more clear. This one's a little more, has a little metal graining to it. So depending on which of those you like. I see a lot of people get the 0.4 for their commander, kind of their thicker card, and then the 0.2, if you ever make a full deck out of it, do this. It makes the deck a lot more manageable, because, you know, commander 100 card decks are already really thick. This is my 100 card deck, missing like a card or two, and I'll show you, in my metal. And then this is my paper double-sleeved foil, so it's like a notable difference in size, so I appreciate that. Like I said, part of that is the slightly thinner cards, and part of that is just the not having to double sleeve. And then, like I said, then you have the matte. That is a lot more, you know, a lot more consistent. The paper, the color, you can see even down here in the whites, this is a little more clean. This is a little darker, especially over there in that corner, because the printer obviously doesn't have any white ink, so white is just the base metal. So it's a little bit more true to color, less metallic, but just a really clear, clean text. Just like I said, a little bit thicker than I think about 2 cards. All right, and here's the other 4 cards we printed. Here's my Tatiova, the Tyvar. I'm liking the frames on those. I want to have, like I said, the advantage of this is I can have the whole deck in the same frame style, so it can all match really nicely. So I'm super excited to get working on those. If you want to subscribe, I'll be putting shorts out on those as I slowly batch them out. And then I want to show some other differences. So this is my ponder on my 0.2 metal, 2mm metal, and a foil ponder from the Secret Lair. So I do redo the art, so like I said, I can keep all my theme the same. This I did in the proxy shop, so it has a different text box, obviously. Both look, you know, it just depends on aesthetic and what you want. But that's how it looks up to a darker foil card. Obviously, or of course, if I can't do, or if I wanted to do the texture, I'm sure I'd have to get real fancy custom metal. So I don't have that ability to do texture, and I get these, I don't have any way of cutting these to different sizes to do like the plain chase cards or anything like that yet. So if I want to do any of that, I'd have to place a big enough order of a certain dimension or size of card. Like I said, and these are my metal cards, all sleeved up, single sleeved in the Dragon Shield custom, where you can get the custom back, so I get my logo. Then these are double sleeved with Dragon Shield inners and the Dragon Shield outers. Like I said, I can't do or if I want to do like these foil spot texture, depends on the metal, and even I've tried some, it didn't look quite as good as this. And then I also wanted to show, you know, sleeved up, single sleeve with the metals my 0.2 is 0.45 as opposed to, you know, 0.7 with a real magic card double sleeve. So that's how the size differences can get so different. But yeah, so that's the different processes and different kind of metals I use. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what other cards, whatever things I should try printing.